So, welcome to another episode of The Movie Maniac, and today we'll be talking about the new Avengers movie, Age of Ultron. Matthew, you're our kind of Marvel fanatic friend.
Hi guys.
Yes, say hello to the people back home.
I love it.
What did you think of Age of Ultron?
I liked it.
Okay, that's the end of the show.
I liked it. It was a good movie. It was a great movie. It wasn't as good as the first Avengers, but I don't think anything was going to live up
I kind of agree on that.
to the first one.
It was good, don't get me wrong, it was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It's just...
It's got its faults. And it's got its high points as well.
Mm-hmm. It came close.
It came as close as it could get.
Yeah, it's like trying to beat, like, you got certain movies, you got like Jaws, nothing can really beat Jaws. You got like, that's all I've got on that.
Nothing beats Jaws.
It wasn't Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
It wasn't Aliens. It wasn't Terminator 2. Evil Dead 2. It wasn't one of those, my God, the sequel's so much better than the first one. No, it was just, it was on par.
It was more of what you wanted. It was more of what you wanted
Yes.
than that as the same high caliber.
It's like finding out your favourite buffet has been built again. A little bit closer to home, but
Just
you
not
may
the
have
same.
a few less items. That's basically what I felt
Yeah.
it was. But overall, it was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
It was fun. It was enjoyable.
It had the humour. The humour was on point with Marvel's style of family-friendly humour. All the characters were there that you wanted to see. There was even cameos by other characters, of course, which we'll get onto them later.
Oh yes, yes.
The effects overall were great.
There's no way they could have done this a decade ago.
Yeah.
Like, I can watch like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and think, okay, like the effects are still good.
Some of them are bad.
Some of them are bad,
Especially
but some of them are good.
Yeah, some of them.
Like
Spider-Man 2 had good ones.
Like, alright, yeah, Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2
1
is the best of the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, but we'll give them that. But yeah, like, I don't know how they would have done this a decade ago. It's kind of good that all the Marvel movies now, well, the cinematic ones have a narrative going forward, and like superhero movie. It's like a tree altogether.
Yeah, it's got a destination. It's gonna head there eventually.
Yes.
So they all know where they're going. So Infinity War Part 1 and 2. That's where they're going.
Oh, that'd be good.
It'll be great.
So, the plot of Age of Ultron, Tony finds Loki's staff, which has the mind gem in, uses it to reboot Ultron, which is a peacekeeping defense, I was going to say network?
It was like Baron von Strucker's like robot program he was running.
Yeah, it was a robot program that would basically, so the Avengers would take the back seat. They don't have to keep fighting all these battles. Now,
less injuries, less casualties.
Yeah, now they have like pawns to use. They basically don't have to get involved unless they really need to, which ends up happening in this movie. Ironically, goes against what Tony wants, but Tony reenacts it with the mind gem, and well, shit hits the fan basically. Ultron gains a consciousness, an evil consciousness at that. And instead of seeing peace towards humanity of, oh, let's have peace with humanity, he sees us as sort of vermin and wants us, threat, and wants us dead, exterminated. And the plot kind of kicks off from there.
Pretty much, yeah. And then of course you get all the other little tiny pieces that put inside, like the whole Hulk plot.
Oh yes.
You've got all the tiny bits of backstory for each character.
I kind of like that how they kind of developed some more of the characters in this. Like Hawkeye, was basically a zombie throughout the first movie. Here, he's got a family.
He gets a central point, really. He's like one of the main characters.
I never thought we'd get a Hawkeye movie, but this is the closest we'll probably get to a Hawkeye movie.
This is probably the closest we're ever going to get to a Hawkeye movie.
He's a good actor, a decent actor. Didn't think much of his Bourne movie, but he's clearly the action kind of role. But it was good seeing a bit more of Hawkeye and seeing his spy wife and his spy children.
Yeah. Who weren't spies.
They were spies.
Totally spies.
They were totally spies.
Yeah. Just like the
Robert
TV
Downey
show.
Jr. would agree with me on that. Also, just to say, a little late into the video, this will have spoilers. Just to make sure.
Big spoilers.
Big spoilers. So.
Massive spoilers.
Yes, spoilers. A bit too late, but yes. It'll be in the title of the video. So basically, you've been warned. Too late, but you've been warned here on in then. So overall, what would you say comparing plots between the first Avengers and this?
So, I think this one's more complex than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was more raw. It was just like, let's make a common enemy, sort us out, and let's go kick his ass. And that was basically the plot of that. And then you had a bit of a falling out in the middle, just to get the Avengers, you know. And then eventually they came together because Coulson died. Spoiler, the first one.
It's an origin movie, isn't it?
But yeah, exactly. And then with the second one, they've kind of tried to. It's still simple in an aspect, but it's also a little bit more complex. Like it's more about, you know, there's a whole Ultron being born plot, but then there's also the Baron von Strucker opening, and then you've got the whole plot between the
twins.
The twins being basically brought into having powers, which they never really explain how they ever get powers.
Oh, they were experimented on by Hydra.
They just said the
Hydra!
They really just said the bloody the mind gem give them power. Like, how does that happen?
Did it say that?
Yeah, that's how they get the
I
powers.
remember that movie.
No,
Not happening.
the mind gem gives them the power. They use the staff. They're using the staff, and somehow the staff gives them powers.
I saw the movie twice and I don't remember.
No, that happens at the end of the.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, how did I forget about that?
Yeah.
Yes, and he Scarlet Witch is moving bricks and
Exploding shit.
and then and Quicksilver's in his room going, oh, I'm in a Slipknot video. It's like that.
Yeah. But no, like of course there's the whole Ultron wanting to rise a piece of the planet up and then smashing and blowing the whole planet type plot. And there's just like all little backstory elements with like Captain America finally getting his dance and
Which made him upset.
pretty much, yeah. And then you've got Black Widow in the Red Room, which is just a bit of backstory about the whole Black Widow program. You get some of that.
She got her ovaries ripped out.
Which,
So I'm thinking of when I just even saying that reminds me of Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino, Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves doesn't get his ovaries ripped out. It was his wife in the movie.
alright.
Find a baby and it's like, hello baby, and it's, oh, ovaries, and she starts bleeding.
Alright. I probably didn't watch that.
Yeah.
Probably won't though.
But back on topic of the characters in these movies. This is why we sort of see superhero movies, because we look up to them. They're like, back in ancient Greece, you looked up to gods. Now, the 80s, you kind of looked up to these action hero idols like Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. Now, you sort of like, when you think of like kind of role models for like these kind of films, kids obviously are going to look up to like these action, like superheroes. Like that's what these films are. They are action movies for families, kids / teens. That's what it is. Overall, who would you say your favourite character was?
Third character in the movie overall?
Yeah, if you had to define one.
See, I was like Captain America, but like I like Winter Soldier's Captain America.
Yes.
That was when he was done the best, and that's why I like Captain America now.
I will agree with that. I didn't think much of him in the first Captain America.
Yeah.
Second Captain America was like, holy God, he can do stuff.
Yeah.
This guy can do some damage, and it was good.
Oh yeah.
Like that fight between him and the Winter Soldier, it was like.
I was like the whole fight on the boat, the opening on the boat. I was just like, nah, I'm done.
Oh, that was good.
I'm leaving cinema now. This is already great. Doesn't get any better.
But it did.
It did.
But in this movie, I will agree that while he was in it,
He really wasn't he wasn't a massive role. He was just there, kind of.
He was there. Like he had some confrontation with Tony. Like this is where maybe the rift is starting between them. But I mean, I was expecting more of a rift.
Yeah.
I was expecting more like.
Well, I think
crowbar in.
I think they didn't want to shoehorn as much stuff into the movie because of course the movie was pretty long as it is.
It was like 2.5 hours.
And the original cut's like 3 hours long, so they were of course trying to cut back. So I'm guessing they took a couple of bits out.
Hopefully we'll see a 3-hour version.
I feel like in this movie, because it's more of a Hulk and Hawkeye movie, I kind of think I like Hawkeye the best out of everyone, just because he had moments to shine in this movie. Like in the first one, he was basically just
he also had
mindless zombie.
Funny moments.
Exactly.
Again, like him and Quicksilver, like just
Playing off each other was great.
Yes,
the whole time.
No one will see. No one will see.
Like,
could he?
and his whole Avengers speech was just spot on. Like how he was saying, as soon as you go through that door, you're Avengers, and he was just talking about how the bloody ground was rising up and there was robots everywhere, and he had a bow and arrow.
It's good. It's just like I could be using guns. I could have brute strength. I could be throwing a shield. No, I'm literally the Robin Hood of the Avengers.
Pretty much.
That's a film. That's a film. Robin Hood versus Hawkeye. Who would win?
Hawkeye. Got their bow.
But Robin Hood's a fox.
So.
Disney owns them both. It could happen.
Alright, so sort of crossover.
Okay, crossover. Okay, if that happens, we see the movie.
Alright.
No, we want liberties. We want liberties if that's made into a movie, because we thought of it. But you also brought up that it's kind of a Hulk movie too.
Mm-hmm.
In this, as you've probably seen in the trailer, Hulk gets kind of his badass moment where he is possessed by Scarlet Witch and goes crazy in an African city. Tony Stark has to come in to deal with him with basically the insurance for the Avengers. Veronica with the Hulk Buster, and my God, I admit that was one of my favourite scenes in the movie.
It was pretty, it was literally the scene they announced the movie with. The first trailer had that fight.
Yeah, but each trailer had that in.
Exactly, like you can say it was like the money shot of the whole movie. Just like was that fight.
It was you know the phrase flesh and blood. So Hulk kind of represents like he was kind of like the organic. Tony Stark represents kind of like metal, and that kind of hit of fists between them, like which caused like
a shockwave.
A shockwave of sound. They broke the sound barrier with that punch. It's just like seeing these two are basically an immovable object versus was it a invincible object?
Yeah, that's it.
It's close to that. It's not the right phrase, but they are duking it out. Obviously, you can't kill the Hulk. You can only just slow him down.
Yeah, I feel like
prolong the inevitable.
The Hulk Buster was basically hold him off for a little while.
As I
try
think
to calm him down, try to knock him out as fast as possible because the Hulk Buster isn't made to withstand such violence and such.
To be honest, that was also one of the funniest scenes. It was a great action scene. It had some humour, like don't mention Puny Banner. Hulk goes after and starts punching him.
Yeah.
Rips his arms out with what looked like a street lamp, and it's just like in the back. Dick move, Banner. Dick move, and he's just like back like ripping his back out.
He had the whole comedy scene where he was just trying to put him to sleep.
It's like go sleep, and it's just like his head's going further into the pavement, and it's just like it was hilarious.
It was a very insane fight,
And then he spits out the tooth, and Tony's like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And it's just like the fact that he actually made the Hulk spit out a tooth. You know you are in trouble. Yeah. Like on a whole new level of trouble now. It was good. It was a good payoff, and the fact that they paid homage to the first one where Hulk punches Thor off camera, just off camera. You see the Hulk Buster's fist comes into shot, punching Hulk, knocking him out, ending that fight scene. To now that they are kind of everyone loves the Avengers. Now everyone hates the Avengers.
Well, say here they've got a disdain for the Avengers.
Well, they got some disdain.
Not on good terms, we'll say.
Their reputation is a little tarnished.
Yeah, we'll see that. They kind of did resurrect a killer evil robot.
True, they did trash a city. They dropped a city. Well, no, they didn't drop it. They
blew it up.
They happened to be there. Oh yeah. All those people are going to need homes.
A lot of homes.
That's a lot of homes. That's half a city that's just gone in the sky. And then boom, bang, gone. But, any other characters?
Of course, we need to talk about the two main ones, which like Ultron and Vision.
Okay. I liked Ultron. He was a little salty at moments. And at first I was a bit, but then I kind of used to it, like, knowing, like, he's kind of adapted some of his, like, Tony Stark's personality. I did, however, like his first shell when he comes out and he's talking all in strings and stuff, and like saying like how is like revealing himself to the Avengers for the first time in a damaged Iron Man costume or suit of armor. I don't know, it was just the fact that the front of his face was skull-like.
Yeah.
And then obviously skulls like kind of are evil in ways. Like you got Red Skull, you've got
There's Ghost Rider, he's good.
Will Ghost Rider be ever part of the cinematic universe?
I think they got the rights back, I think.
Oh.
I don't think they'll make a movie of it.
Oh, good. That's good. But it was just the fact that it was like with Darth Vader. There's only one emotion to the face, but it is brought forward with body movements, like body language, tone of voice, emotion in the voice. Like yes, Ultron is a robot, but he does show emotion. He has humour. He shows sarcastic wit. He has anger. He thinks what he's doing is right, so he has a god complex. That kind of makes him kind of a good villain. Maybe I'd say he's sort of on par with Loki.
Loki was always one of the better villains. He's really well done. He's well acted.
The thing is, everyone liked Loki more than Thor, which is ironic.
Yeah, well, Thor's kind of boring. Like he's not really boring, but he's just.
Superman is boring.
Yeah, Superman's boring. Sorry, guys.
Like he's white bread.
But no, I liked Ultron. I thought at some points he could have. He's a bit over the top. They've done a bit far too like.
He was very
like
tall.
when he cut the guy's arm off.
And it's like, oh sorry.